Welcome to Tanks Invest. Talk about investing, finance, and professional development. For today's terms only. The investment talk today will be Ethereum ticker ETH. So it's my second posting as of today. Respect to recording time of 2:38 p.m. on an Eastern time. Ethereum is currently trading $3,953, up about 3.81% so far. With respect to overall crypto market, is relatively green today. With respect to the job report that came out earlier today, which per our technical read so far, is definitely leaning more towards the negative side of the spectrum. More positive in the short term perspective, but long term wise, definitely leaning more of a negative side of the spectrum, right? Inflation seems to be still something that's in the foreshadow perspective. Tapering is not going to be happening anytime soon because we have to sustain that job number mandates that the Fed has, obviously, right? So with respect to that anti-correlation effects, equity market goes down, subsequently crypto market goes up, right? But specifically towards Ethereum, I would say collecting some news, across, during lunchtime for the last 4 or 5 hours so far. I would say, there's a collection of relatively neutral slash positive news. Again, more regurgitation or reinforcement news around NFT adoptions, like with respect to Reese Witherspoon investing into Ethereum, to NFL stars, to NBA stars like Stephen Curry investing into NFT or crypto punks, if you may. So nothing really worth mentioning, and also a lot of comparison news comparing like Solana, knowing the fact it hits all time high today, hitting the $146.31 mark. How is that the long term value proposition in comparisons to Ether, and what's the price volatility that we should be experiencing going forward? It's informative, but like more just kind of pump type of news on a media application perspective. And some other news talking about with respect to Ethereum spiking to 3 months high, about $4,000, being close, very close to the all-time high of the 4,300-ish mark that we've hit a while back in May 12th, right? So with respect to current technical analysis front, MACD still crossing. We are overbought on RSI perspective. It seems like we are still leaping up and away, right? Despite the Friday weekend affectation, because of the fact that we have like basically 15 consecutive positive news across various different media outfronts so far. We are definitely sustaining. And with respect to the MACD right now, this is definitely an outlier that we're forming, with RSI confirming that we're overbought right now. And the volume is definitely concerning with respect to how much we have pumped, with respect to just the last 24 hours so far, right? Not 24 hours, more like 48 hours to 54 hours so far. And we have basically increased by $1,000 with that short amount of time frame, right? And remember that the logic that we've talked about historically, whatever goes up really, really fast comes down just as fast, right? So we have to be extra cautious at the moment with respect to price volatility that we're seeing right now. And with respect to that, ultimately, I do foresee there's a possible, surge to be continuing, knowing the fact that we just recently crossed, and the in a physics perspective, the ball needs to kind of keep leaping up in a trajectory perspective for us to, kind of recuperate back down, right? You don't just throw a ball and then come down just like that, because it needs to have that inertia built in place. The same thing happens with respect to the dynamic of financial market as well, right? So with respect to RSI, it's still overbought, so the risk is definitely very, very high right now. I would say it's significantly higher than I would say 48 hours ago. So with respect to our cheat sheet, right, we are still within the complacency stage. We are seeing the lost hurrah, and this is where people are gonna be being captured by the whales, right? The whales gonna swallow them up, and people are gonna FOMO in to the equation, which is the reason why you see these like percolations of positive news so far to kind of, put some mousetraps around the equation, right? And subsequently, I would say amateur investors or people that do not study technical analysis will buy in, thinking that we're going to keep leaping up because we are, close to all time high. So we must be surging up, right? Knowing the fact that whatever goes up really, really fast, we must be keep going, right? So, but if we study the market cycles, we know the technical analysis, and we translate the charts, we know that we are, the sell should be imminent based on how we're set up right now. And for me, with respect to a price target, 3,000, 2,750, 2,450 would still be my logical move for me. But if you are insistent on buying now, just know that the risk is definitely increasing. We are ultimately in the business of risk mitigation, right? Risk control, and I think 9,800 in a 12 months price target would be ideal, right? That's 3.3 times your money. So if you insist on buying now, right, despite a sell off coming, just know that if you hold, you'll be fine. But you have to understand you need to mentally prepare yourself. You have to control your sanity, which is critical in part of investing, right? But ultimately, I think for me, I would still execute in a more ideal price level, in a less risky level. That's just based on my personal risk tolerance, right? So it's just for your reference. Not everybody have different level of aversion in terms of how they can tolerate risk. So hopefully this is helpful. And this is a quick one. Just want to drop off before I'm heading out, to spend some time with my family before my trip to San Francisco. But really appreciate you and stay tuned for this coming up. Take care. Bye.